everyone. I'm running a little bit late, 2 minutes late. Not too bad, or maybe 3 minutes late. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. Hello, tarot lovers. Good to see you. Okay, I'm just going to do my little share. Better make sure I turn the volume down. Yes, I've just been giggling to this very mean cat video, but I couldn't help it. It was funny. It was funny. It was the cat's expressions. They were really funny. Anyway, distracted by that, I was watching that again and I'm laughing. Okay, let me just share, do my usual share. Hi Katrina, hi Rebecca, hi Tabitha, hey gosh, I was going to call you Swan. Melissa, hello. Melanie. Forgot Linda. Hi. You know, I get I'm a bit distracted by that video. I've been sitting here chuckling to myself watching that cat video. Oh, it's ridiculous. Okay, just let me share. I'm going to do something different tonight, guys, as well. A little surprise. Just share this into my group. So I'm going to do my usual weekly tarot report, of course. I feel like, sorry, I just need to move that over. I'm going to do my usual weekly tarot report, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my cards after that. It will take me a few minutes. I was going to grab because I've got a couple of decks of these now. I was going to grab my other decks and have them all sort of, we could all use a good laugh in this craziness. I know. Actually, to be honest, just given my last week, I don't want 2020 to finish because I've got shit going down in February. So I'm like, oh no, let's not rush 2020 now. Let's not rush through it. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the cards. I'm going to take all of the major arcana out of these cards. That's what I was going to say. I was going to grab another one of my decks. That's exactly the same as this deck. But I thought it might be, you know, I think it would be a bad omen for me to grab some other cards. So, because these cards have got my energy on them, I'm used to them, I'm familiar with them, just in case. So, yeah, what I want to do, it didn't share. Hang on. So I'm going to grab all the major arcana out of the cards and I'm going to do one card readings talking about your current life lessons, like your big lesson. The big lesson that you're currently learning at the moment. So I'll pick random people as I do to do that. So it'll be no minor arcana. Well, I'll do some minor arcana in the full reading, the weekly reading. But yes, for the one card readings, I will do it a little bit differently tonight. So I'm just going to share this now. So good to see everyone here. Hi Kim and my daughter. They have an affinity for horses. I feel close to Kim now because of all the horsey stuff. Yes, Selena absolutely loves your princess. She loves her, Kim. And yes, she's talking about wanting to come and see your horses, by the way. Preparing you. You're going to get a message at some point saying, can we come over? Oh, okay. I'm talking too much. Let me share this to my timeline. And then I'm done. Won't take me long. If I cough a little bit tonight, yes, I've got a blocked throat chakra. Well, kind of. I think it's in my chest. Bit of grief, bit of coffee energy. I'm okay. I just keep sort of having little coughs. So just to prepare yourself. Energy report, and then I will share this to my timeline. Oh, free groups. See, I can't even type. Free readings. Okay. So, go on. I'm here. Okay, so for those of you who might be new here tonight, and this is your first time watching, my name is Marina Lovas. Oh, thanks, Kim. She'll be very excited about that. I'll let her know. She'll be super keen. Yes. So, yes, my name is Marina Lovas. I refer to myself as your soul purpose mentor, and I support intuitive and spiritual entrepreneurs to monetize their passion to purpose. And I teach that, I teach the tarot and channeling, and I help you create programs and services that sell out. I'm so calming. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. I'm not feeling very calming tonight. I'm a bit all over the place. Right, I'm okay. I am okay. But I appreciate your kind words. Yes, so a little bit of housekeeping. Oh, yep, I better put this in the comment section. So, I have a 6-month tarot program that starts this week. I've got 1 spot left. I've got a special gift for you if it's your spot. I'm going to give you a good price. You have to private message me. You have to private message me. So message me, and then I'm going to also offer you a one-off 2-hour business mentoring session where we'll sit down and we'll work out, we'll get clear on your service, who you serve, how you serve, what problems you solve, how you solve those problems, and we'll come up with a marketing strategy for you. And yes, and I'm gonna sit down together and we'll nut that out together. It's worth $333. It is valued at $333, and I will give that to you free if you want to sign up to my amazing tarot program that starts this week. I'm so excited. I am really excited. I'm not just saying that. I am really excited. I can't wait to get started with the new group. And yes, last one for this year, last one for 2020. I don't know what's going to happen in 2021. Yeah, it's my last one. So if you want in, you better jump in. Oh, and I should add too as well, my reading special, my readings go back to being full price. Someone's messaging me. Go back to being full price. $150 tomorrow. So if you want a reading with me, you've been sitting on the fence and you've been wanting to have a reading with me, now's the time to book a reading with me. The link's in the comment section there. Jump on and book your session. It's $111, and then tomorrow it goes back up to $150. That will disappear if you don't book in tonight. You better do it. Jump in. Okay, so so how this works, if you're new here, someone else is sending me a message. Awesome, Carlita, I just got your message. I will be in touch with you. You'll be very happy with my little deal for you. How exciting. Yes, so the way this works, if this is the first time that you have jumped online with me, I'm going to pick 3 cards randomly, and then I will read those cards, and those cards will be the energy report for this week. So, your spirit team, my spirit team, your higher self, my higher self, working in sacred collaboration together. I've put my hand up to be a channel for you and for us, for me as well. And then I will read the cards. I believe that whoever is online tonight listening to this, you're directly influencing what's coming through. And then after I've done the readings, this week's energy report, then I'll do some 1-card readings. So if you'd like a reading, you need to put yes in the comments section. But I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm only going to use the major arcana for the 1-card readings, because I want to introduce you to the major arcana, and also that they represent archetypal experiences, human experiences that we all have, and we can all relate to. And sometimes I refer to them as the big lessons, the current lessons that we're it's okay, Katrina. It's been a rough week. In fact, it's been a rough year, but last week was particularly rough. I think that's why my throat's starting to go, why I'm starting a bit run down after last week's efforts. So yeah, I want to introduce you to the major arcana. I will talk about them in the context of your current lesson, the current lesson that you're moving through, that you are learning. They're really interesting, the major arcana, and they've got wonderful stories, wonderful mythical stories that you can gain insight from just from listening to the myths. The myths are fascinating. So, if you'd like a reading, you have to put yes in the comments section. Okay, let me pick 3 cards. I'm a little bit overexcited tonight. I think because my next tarot group starts, in the next couple of days. I'm so happy. I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled to be able to share my tarot training with people, because it's not just the Mythic Tarot, it's therapeutic training. I'm sharing dream work with you, I'm sharing Jungian psychology, I'm sharing psychotherapy, hypnosis. It's full of rich information and training for you. And yes, can't wait. Okay, so let me pick the 3 cards. Okay. So, first card, we have a Major Arcana. So for this week, the High Priestess is blessing us with her presence. Her name is Persephone. She's the daughter of Demeter. And I'm just going to turn my heater off. It's getting a bit warm. Just a moment. Oh, that's better. So she's the daughter of Demeter, and Persephone is her archetype, or her energy, her spirit is your connection to your subconscious, or your connection to your, or the connection that you have to the collective unconsciousness, your personal connection to your unconscious mind. Sometimes I refer to this card as being like the twilight zone, where you're neither here nor there, you're in this in-between space. And it's a really intuitive space. It's a really psychic. Oh, yes, Rebecca, it came up. That's amazing. I was talking to Rebecca yesterday and I said, wouldn't it be interesting if this card came up tonight because of the conversation that we had yesterday? That's amazing. See, these cards are really magical. They are. They're amazing cards. Anyway, oh, I'm a bit blown away by that, Rebecca, actually. I've got goosebumps. So Persephone, she is your psychic connection. She is your ability to tune in to your intuition. But she's a nighttime goddess, so she comes to you in your dreams. She's quite mysterious. Her energy is mysterious, yes, and a bit weird. She is what I would say, she's your dream space. And she sends us little pieces of the puzzle, and they're symbolic and they're metaphoric and they're not to be taken literal. She moves between worlds. Persephone moves between worlds. She spends 3 months of the year in the underworld with Hades, with the dark underlord, the ruler of the underworld, and he rules death and transformation. And she spends 3 months of the year with him, and then she spends the rest of the year in the outer world, in the conscious awareness with her mother Demeter. And so she has many mysteries, many secrets. So she's our connection to our intuition and to our psychic abilities. We're being called to trust that. In fact, your psychic abilities or your intuition is speaking to you 24/7. It speaks to you 24/7. It's not something that you need to shut down. I know people talk about this. I've heard people talk about this before, that you've got to like shut your chakras or something along those lines. There's no such thing. Just ignore that. Your psychic energy is a radar. It protects you. It takes care of you. It looks after you. It's leading you. It's prompting you. It's very intelligent. It's your divine intelligence. She is your divine intelligence and your connection to your psychic abilities. We're being called this week to really trust in the images or the visions or the clairvoyant abilities that you may be exploring, to trust the visions that you have, trust what you see, trust what you feel, trust your instincts. And watch for our dreams this week, because she sends messages through our dreams when when we are in that twilight zone. She's like the daydream. When you're doing, you might be perhaps washing the dishes or doing something sort of meaningless, and you're daydreaming. She's the daydream, and there's magic in that place. It's very intuitive. It's incredibly psychic. You've just explained my past few weeks, dreams, visions, amazing. Hell, it's been overwhelming. Interesting. Write them all down, Katrina. Oh, another major card. Hey, isn't that funny too? Because I was saying that I want to talk about the major cards tonight. Now I'm pulling them all out. Anyway, okay, so we have the Hermit. The Hermit is what I would call the card of the existential crisis. He's the Lord of Time. He has knowledge about the universe, how the universe was created. He understands, he has knowledge about the meaning of life. And his name is Kronos. He was one of the Titans. And so he's Zeus's father. And he has wisdom, insight. He's a teacher. But he is our search for meaning, for making meaning out of our experience, looking for the greater meaning of why is this all happening. Often this card will come up when we are I wouldn't say going through like a midlife crisis, but going through a crisis or going through challenging times where we start to question what is this all about. It is also the card of aging. Coming to terms with the aging body, coming to terms with our mortality, coming to terms with the fact that whilst you might believe in reincarnation or that the soul, your soul, is everlasting and is continuous, this life that we're currently living in, it will come to an end at some point. Our life will come to an end. Our human experience will come to an end. So this card is the recognition of that. And sometimes this card will come up when we feel like it's now or never. It's the existential crisis, but in the context of it's now or never. Either I go there, or I just do it. It's like you have to make a decision. You've got one life. That's the kind of mentality with this card. But it is the card of introspection as well. It's a meditative card, but not in the context of you looking outside of yourself for answers, you finding meaning based on your own lived experiences and your own inner reality. For some reason, wouldn't it be surprised if I dealt the card next? I don't know what that means. You have to rewrite that. I'm confused with that. I'm a bit like that when I type. Sometimes I don't make sense. I know you're trying to make sense. Type it again, Rebecca. I don't understand. I've missed something. So this card, we're being called this week. We've got two they're both very introspective cards. This is Persephone moving into the underworld, moving into your inner reality. So she's your connection to your inner psychic, your psychic abilities, your inner psyche, your intuition. And then we've got also Kronos, which is, the search for the meaning of life, where this is a very contemplative week. We're being called to really go inwards and contemplate on what we're doing. What's the purpose of it all? Really, think about why you're doing this. Sometimes I'll say that to my business mentoring clients, like why are you doing what you are doing? What's the big reason? What's the big calling? Because sometimes when we tap into that, we start to move into our values, and our values help us to align with what's important, and it helps us to make decisions about our future as well. But yes, I will say this. I'm just looking at this card again. You can probably see there's a crow sitting on his shoulder. So he moves between worlds as well. He is on the edge of the unconscious. He's on the exploring the unconscious, looking into your unconscious, your in your inner mind, in your inner reality. He's got a light there and he's looking in. Okay. The last card. So, interesting card. Now we have the Five of Cups, and the cups represent our relationships, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to others. We live in a relational world. We know who we are, and we know who we are not through the relationships that we're having. The cups are generally very emotional cards. They're all about feeling, the water element. And in this card, you can see here that Psyche, or Eros, is running away from Psyche, and Psyche has betrayed him. She's betrayed Eros in this card. So long story short, Eros had rescued Psyche from death, and he took her, he whisked her away to this beautiful location, and she and he gave her everything that she wanted, but it was on the condition that she didn't. She couldn't look at him. She wasn't allowed to know who he was, because he was Aphrodite's son, and Aphrodite wanted Psyche gone. She wanted to get rid of Psyche, and he thought that if Psyche saw him, that she wouldn't be in love with him. If she saw him for who he truly is, that she wouldn't love him. And so he made this. He said to her, if you want to be with me, you can't see me. So he would only come to her at night. Anyway, it got the better of Psyche. She just couldn't trust him. And so she lit a hot lamp, an oil lamp, and had a look to see who he is. And then she discovered he was this absolutely beautiful being, angelic, beautiful wings. He was stunning. And she fell instantly in love with him when she saw him. She was already in love with him, but she loved him even more. And some hot oil dripped on him, and he was upset with her. You know, he woke up and he felt betrayed. But ultimately, he actually betrayed her because he wasn't honest with who he is. So this is the card of conflict. This is the card of conflict. So this is the card of, like, in what way are you betraying yourself in your current relationships? We need to start looking at the ways in which we might be betraying ourselves, or the ways in which we could be betraying others. So this is the card. There is some conflict in this card, but you're being called to look deeper at your relationships. Look, arguments are not a bad thing. You know, being confrontational in your relationship isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we have to have little arguments for the truth to come out. And not just, this card doesn't just pertain to, you know, lovers. This can be friendships, it can be business relationships, but it is about confronting the truth and getting to the bottom of things. And I know at the end of the story, what ends up happening is Psyche ends up gaining this sense of agency, who she is beyond that current relationship. Sometimes we get so enmeshed in our relationships that we lose ourselves. We start to sort of mimic our friendships or our partner, and you know, we start to take on ideas and thoughts that don't really belong to us, that don't really fit for who we are. So this was a really important experience for Psyche. This was a really important conflict, because it gave her, in the end, it gave her this sense of sovereignty and agency where she could move back into the relationship knowing who she is, and with maturity. She could face him with this new sense of maturity, and so could he. They accepted each other for who they really, you know, who you really are. She saw the truth of who he is. So this is a week. Expect some expect some conflict this week. Psyche's story is one of the most transformational for me. I love her as well. I love her story too. Psyche means soul. Her name means soul. So, okay, let's summarize these cards. God, my arm was hurting holding that card up. Okay, so we've got the High Priestess here. So this is trusting your psychic intuition, trusting your psychic abilities, and watching out, looking at your dreams. I've had some crazy dreams recently as well. So trusting your visions, trusting your dreams. Taking note of your clairvoyant abilities, the visions that you see. Trust. And this is the card of moving into the underworld, and it's a very transformational card, because Persephone, she ends up marrying Hades, the guy that rules the underworld. And she has a very transformational experience with him. She gets to know the secrets of the underworld. And so Persephone is sharing these secrets with you, this psychic knowledge with you. Trust it. Then we have the Hermit, this is the card of how do we make meaning of our experience? How are you going to make meaning of these psychic experiences? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for you in this lifetime? What is it calling from you? And this is the card of the, it's now or never. Take a leap of faith. Trust. Go in. Go. Don't just go for it. Just let yourself have what you want. You know, this is it. We've got one life. Make it happen. But this is also an introspective card. It's also about moving inwards as well, and coming up with your own philosophy, your own understanding of what life means for you. You become a meaning maker of your experience. And it's also the card of the existential crisis. Like, what the fuck does this all mean? Like, what does this all mean? Why is this happening to me? You know, that sort of stuff. Okay. And then we have the card of conflict, so emotional conflict. So this is not a bad card, even though it's a card of conflict. We're being called to go and seek the truth. You know, have those conversations. Be straightforward. Be straight up. Yes, it may push people, or, you know, so they may run, but they'll come back. They'll come back. But these conversations need to be had, whether that be lovers, friendships, business, employment. Speak up. You need to get to the bottom of things. Okay. So now it's going to take, I'm giggling because it's going to take me a while. So I want to play a game. Well, it's not really a game. It's not a game tonight. I just want to try something new, but you've just got to give me a chance to pick out all the major cards, and then I'm going to do some readings for you tonight. Okay. Let me find the cards. Excuse me, I said I would cough, didn't I? Bear with me. I'm going to do some readings. So if you want some readings, you need to put yes in the comment section. So there's 22 major cards in the tarot. I went through them the other day live. I enjoy them. I enjoyed that. It was good fun. I love my cards. It's not hard work to do that. Let me just count, make sure I haven't missed any. Yes, Natasha, I'll read for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, all the cards are there. This will be interesting. Hey, a new style tonight. I thought I'd try it out. Let's try this. Okay, so these cards represent the big lesson, your current lesson that you're working through at the moment in your life. So if you'd like a card, you need to put yes in the comment section, and then I will pick a card for you. And I said that I'd read for Natasha first, so I'll read for you, Natasha. Yes, Beck, and I'll read for you too, and Katrina. And I'll come back to the others. Okay, feels weird only having my 22 cards. Okay, Natasha. Natasha, this is a new chapter. We were talking about this card the other day in my tarot program. It's such a beautiful card. This card represents that moment in time when everything just falls into place and everything just feels right, where you have finally reached some kind of moment in time where you have this experience of higher consciousness, where you have this experience of everything just being like everything becoming one. This card, I was sharing this with my group the other day, and I was thinking of a time when I was in London, and I was looking out. I was living in London at the time, and I was in the library, and I was writing an email, and I remember looking out the window, and it started to snow. And it was quite a journey for me to get to London. There's a reason why I'm sharing this with you. And it was quite a journey for me to get to London. It was very, a tumultuous time in Perth, and getting to London was a big deal. And I went through quite a lot to get to that point where I was looking out the window. And it was finally at that point I felt happy. I felt content. Everything just felt right. But it's so fleeting with this card. The circle represents the womb, the hermaphrodite in the middle. This is Hermes and Aphrodite's child in the middle there. Hermaphrodite in the middle represents the fetus. This is you in preparation for a brand new chapter in your life, a brand new cycle, a rebirth. And so you're being called right now just to take stock or enjoy this moment, because you've got When the fool takes a leap, you know what card, the card that comes after this is the fool. When he takes a leap of faith off the cliff, he lands at the crossroads, and then it all, you know, the journey starts again. But this is the card of having learnt lessons. Lessons have been learned, Natasha. You finally got it. It doesn't mean that you have all the answers, but there are things that you've learned that you will never go back and make those same mistakes again. Such a great card to have. This is a joyful card. It's a happy card where everything just makes sense. But this is you in preparation for rebirth. This is a very short-lived card. Sometimes I explain it like a chapter. You know, when you finish a book and you close the book, you've read the last chapter and you close the book and you just have a moment where you contemplate on the whole story and how it all came together and all the different characters, and you start to see what it all meant. And there's a pleasure in that. There's a pleasure in this card. It is pleasurable. It's a great feeling. So this is you having gained incredible insights, and you're preparing for a new journey, for a new chapter. There's some very exciting things coming up for you, some big changes coming up for you again. Okay, I said I was going to read for excuse me, for Beck next. I hope that was relevant for you, Natasha. Hi, Lucinda. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Lilia. I'm going to read for you, Lilia. Are you still here? Give me a yes if you're still here. I'd love to read for you. Okay, Beck. I don't know who that hug was from. Who was that hug from? Is that you, Lilia? You need to put yes if you want me to read for you. Okay, focusing on Beck. Oh, okay, Beck. So this, in the tarot, this is like the card of, this is when the fool first, he's starting to learn. He's starting to learn his first few lessons in life. And it is a very adolescent card. I'm not suggesting you're an adolescent, but it does have this kind of adolescent energy to it. This is Paris. He's judging this contest where the three goddesses, it's a beauty contest, and Zeus called him in and said, listen, you need to judge this contest, because they knew they wouldn't be so stupid to judge it, because whoever doesn't get chosen to be the most beautiful goddess will be vengeful. So Zeus said, let's just get a mortal in. And because Paris was he was very young and he was very lustful, and he slept with many women, and they thought he would have some insight on who would be the most beautiful. So he comes in and he votes, and you know, Hera says to him, look, if you choose me, I will you will rule the world. I'll give you rulership. And then Athena says to him, well, if you choose me, I'll make you the greatest warrior that ever lived. And then Aphrodite says, well, if you choose me, and she drops her gown and she says, well, I'll give you the most beautiful woman, you know. And so he just went, oh, right, well, I'm going to take Aphrodite. And so she ends up leading him to Helen, who was already married to Menelaus, and they eloped, and it started the Trojan War. And Paris lost his life. Helen walked out unscathed, and it was a disaster. It was a disaster. So yes, they're great. They're fabulous stories, aren't they, Wendy? I love them as well. They're just amazing cards. So the message in this card is that you've got a choice to make. There's decisions that need to be made, and you need to focus on your heart. Don't look for the short-term gain. Look for the long term. The long-term outcome. It's very easy with this card to be sucked into the material aspects. You're being called to move away from short-term gain and focus on the long game. And sometimes this card will come up when there's a bit of a triangle happening. You know, there's more than one choice, more than two choices. Sometimes there's three people involved. So excuse me. So this is the card. Your big lesson right now is learning how to choose love over lust. And that doesn't necessarily mean just in relationship with people. It can also be in the context of, you know, how you make money, or what, you know, what courses or, you know, choices you have regarding your career. So you're being called to focus on the long game, focus on love over lust. Things that sparkle and that are all a bit shiny may cause problems, and as we know with Paris, he lost his life. He died, and Helen walked out. You know, she was fine. The war went on for 10 years. It was a 10-year war, and Troy, but his city burnt down. It burnt down. He lost his life, and all of the people in the city died. So this is a little warning card. So it's saying be very careful. Love over lust. That is your big lesson at the moment, learning how to identify the difference. Yes. Okay, so next person was Katrina. So if you've just joined me, I'm only using the Major Arcana tonight because I thought it would be interesting to talk about our current lessons, what we're currently learning, what we're currently moving through. And the Major Arcana have some really great stories attached to them as well, and I just think they're rich. They've got lots of information. Okay, Katrina, here's your card. Excuse me. So, I love this card. This card actually comes after the Lover's card. So this is the card of controlling your urges, controlling your instincts. So this card will come up when we know that we shouldn't be misbehaving. Like we might be, you know, an example would be if you're feeling drawn to a particular relationship and it's, you know, you could potentially be betraying someone else. This is the card of saying, look, just control yourself. Some things are just not, you know, as Paris learnt in the last card, some things are just not worth it. So this is the horses. This is the unconscious and the conscious. The unconscious drives that you feel drawn, you're feeling pulled towards someone. Your conscious mind is saying no. No. The unconscious drives are going, yes, lead me there, take me, right? So this is Ares, the god of war, and in the story, he is in a relationship with Aphrodite. And what happened is Aphrodite was married, I can't pronounce his name, I can't remember, it starts with H. I'm not going to pretend to pronounce it because I'll fuck it up. Can't remember, but it starts with H, and he's one of the Olympian gods, right? And Aphrodite was an Olympian goddess as well, so one of the 12, and she was married to one of them. And he was skilled at making jewelry and metalwork and stuff. And he wasn't very good looking. He wasn't very handsome. But Ares, on the other hand, was incredibly handsome. He was a rogue, and he wasn't refined like the other gods, but he was very handsome, very attractive. You know, the bad boy kind of energy. Anyway, they were having an affair. And her husband knew that they were, and so what he did is he grabbed this net. It was an invisible net, and he threw it. Well, they were making love on the marital sofa regularly, and so what he did is he threw this net over the top of them, and then he got and it was an invisible net to capture them, and then he got all the gods and the goddesses to tease and to mock them. And Ares, being the god of war and being quite violent and brutal, he had to control himself. You know, he wanted to get them, but he didn't. He controlled himself, but he continued making love to Aphrodite. He didn't care. He just continued on. And so, yes, thank you. That's right. Eva just shared his name, Hephaestus. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, and so then what happened is, so he continued, and they carried on with their relationship regardless. He controlled himself, and they ended up having a child called Harmonia. So Long story short, Katrina, this is about learning to control yourself. To control yourself. There are some things that are not worth arguing over, or not worth, you know, moving towards. It's not worth it. So this is the card of learning to control those urges. Even though you feel willed towards something, it's not going to be in your best interests. So learning to control those urges. It's hard sometimes, especially if you feel very attracted to someone or something. Can be hard, right? But Aries, he had to, otherwise he couldn't have Aphrodite. So he would have lost Aphrodite. If he lost his shit, he would have lost Aphrodite. So take what you will from that card, Katrina. The story, yes, the stories are, listening to the stories actually puts you, or it induces a trance state. And when you're in that trance state, your unconscious mind is picking up relevant information from the story, and is gifting that information to your soul, and your soul is putting it in context for you based on your own personal experiences. These cards are very clever. They're very intelligent. The myths are really intelligent. And the Greeks were very, very intelligent as well, sharing their Greek mythology, which is really human psychology. We haven't changed much since ancient Greece. Okay, Lilia, your turn. Okay. Excuse me. Coughing again. Lilia, this is your card. It's a little sneaky one that's poking out there. Oh, Lilia, you're feeling confused. You're feeling very confused right now. This is the card of, this is Hecate or Hecate, and she stands at the gates of the underworld, and she helps you move through the underworld, through the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is every thought that's ever been thought, every idea that's ever been created, every emotion, every feel, every experience that's ever been had. It's a container of the collective psyche. And so Hecate guards this incredible place, this very intuitive place. It's really psychic, but it's also a very scary place because it feels unknown, where when you move into this place, into this darker realm with Hecate or Hecate, she has you facing your anxieties, your fears, and there is a confusion with this card. If you think of the moon, people romanticize the moon, but the moon shines light on our shadow world, on our shadow being, the inner parts of ourselves that we may have repressed, or that we may be out of our conscious awareness. The moon card shines light on that. And so all of our fears come up, all of our insecurities, and we start to question. This is the card of questioning, but we don't know what the answer is yet. So this is you, like in a waiting room, in the waiting room, you know, unsure of what your next move is. You don't know what's next, and that's okay. So you're being called with this card. The message in this card is to not make any big decisions right now, Lilia. Don't make any big decisions right now. Just sit and wait until it becomes clearer. Right now, it's not clear enough for you to be making any rushed decisions. This is the pool, excuse me, this is the pool of forgetfulness. And so it's like, excuse me, in this card, she's still, she doesn't know yet. Yes, I know it's true. I'm tuning in. I'm with you right now. Don't rush in and make any big decisions yet. Just wait. Wait until you know for sure. It will become clearer soon. The card that comes after this is the sun. And light shines its light on you, and all of a sudden you know what your next step is. You need to wait and be patient. This is the waiting room. Just wait and be patient. The answer will come to you soon, but not yet. And you just have to learn to sit in the uncertainty, in the discomfort, the free fall. Sometimes I call this card the free fall. You feel like you're floating. It's groundless. You don't know whether you're going left or right, or no idea. You feel lost. There's a lost feeling with this card, but it will become clearer. Just don't rush in to make any big decisions. Excuse me. Oh. As the stress of last week, I was under huge amounts of stress. I didn't handle last week very well. I had some big things going down. But I'm all right now. Well, my body isn't, is it? I have to take care of myself a little bit better. Okay, so who is next? It's amazing that you're awake, Carlita. Loving the red on me. Thanks. My mum says the same thing as well. She loves me in red too. All right, so I need a yes. Who's next for a reading? I can't see any yeses. Oh, thanks, Charlotte. Appreciate your kind words. Who's next? before I move on. Can't see any yeses. Me. Okay, Rebecca, it's your turn. I can see 23 people on, but nobody's saying yes. Jump in and say yes. Okay, Rebecca, this is your card. Wouldn't it be amazing, Rebecca, if we pulled out the Persephone again, the High Priestess? I've got so used to my cards that I call the archetypes by name. I don't really refer to them as the High Priestess. I know them all by name. I talk to their spirit, the spirit of the card. Okay, Rebecca, this is your card here. No, but what we do have is the Hermit. Okay, so this is the card of the existential crisis. You know, this is you wanting to make meaning of your experience, trying to work out why this is all happening for you. What is it all about? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? There's a calling there. I know you're feeling called, but you just don't quite know where where to go, or what is your next step. And why am I here? This is the energy of this card. You know, why am I here? What is this all about? And given the conversations that we've had in the last couple of days, Rebecca, my sense is that you're feeling closer, feeling more inclined to move towards your intuitive reality, or your intuitive nature. This version of you, this psychic version of you, is wanting to become more known, or you're wanting to explore more of that. And you can see here, so he has the crow on his shoulder. The crow moves between worlds, or the raven moves between worlds. This is your connection to spirit. In fact, you have a very strong connection with spirit, particularly with those who have passed over. And there he has the light, and he stands on the edge of the unconscious mind. This is you looking in, but not quite going all the way in. It's like witnessing, observing. It's like inquiring, not participating in the what's going on in your inner reality. Watching, observing, looking, learning, inquiring. What is this all about? What does this all mean? Oh, don't be scared. I can help you. I've been doing this work for years. It's fun, actually. It's fun. It's so much fun. I can support you. It's really exciting. And it does give you this sense of meaning, for sure. It makes you feel like, you can be, it's your way of being in service. It's like your soul gift, your soulful, valued self that wants to gift, your community. It's great. And I have a crow all the time in my backyard. Interesting, hey? Interesting. So this is what I will suggest with this card as well, is that you might want to start practicing meditation, or practicing some hypnosis even, or something to practice going inwards, to reflect on your inner reality, and just learn about your inner world, your inner mind, what's going on in your inner landscape. Explore, get to know your inner being. And yes, and I can help you with that. I can help you with that. It's a big lesson for you right now. It's what you're currently learning. Okay, so what doesn't show up on my computer? I wonder why it doesn't show up on here. Carrie, are you still here? You need to give me a yes if you are still here. It's got cold in here. Oh, shit, I just lost all the comments. Whoops. You need to give me a yes if you're here. I need to turn my heater on. I'm getting cold. Excuse me. Oh, the coughing girl tonight. Yeah, that's because it's paused. That's why. Maybe I need to reload it. Carrie, can you give me a thumbs up if you're still here? Otherwise, I shall move on to the next person. I don't think she is. Okay, Corrine. Oh, yes, you are. Okay, and then Corrine, I'm going to read for you next. Okay, Carrie. Who's enjoying this? Are you guys enjoying the major cards, the major arcana? Is this interesting? Are you enjoying it better than me? I don't know. Let me know, because some of you people are regulars here. Are you enjoying this a bit better? If you're not, let me know, because I won't do it again. Okay, Carrie, your turn. I think when the cold hits my chest, it's making me a bit more coffee, making my cough a little bit worse. Carrie, okay, this is your card here. You're loving it, Wendy? Oh, fantastic. Okay, that's good. Yes, and you're liking it as well, Katrina. Yes, it's great. Awesome. Okay, that's motivating. So, Carrie, Justice. This is Athena. She's an interesting goddess. So she is the patron of Greece. Oh, sorry, of Athens, and she civilized Athens. She's a strategist, and this card is about the balance of mind. It's about getting emotions out of the way. You can see here the black and white tiles, black and white thinking. This is Athena. She is your reasoning abilities, your intellect, and it's also about decision making around signing contracts or anything to do with commitment. When you make a big commitment, whether that be committing to ending something or committing to beginning something, but this is the signing of contracts. This card generally comes up when there are decisions to be made that you have to actually get your emotions out of the way and to use your reasoning abilities. And Athena was very strategic. It was all about her and her needs, actually. Well, there's a few stories about her. If you've read some myths about her, she and Poseidon Poseidon wanted to rule Athens, and Athena wanted to rule Athens as well. So they had a bit of a war, and they ended up having, the Athenians ended up voting. But at the time, there was more women than men, and all of the women wanted Athena to rule Athens, and so she was voted in, and Poseidon said it wasn't fair. That wasn't a fair vote. And Poseidon was a very angry god. He used to get pissed off all the time. He'd create earthquakes and tidal waves, and he was just a bit of an asshole, actually, to be honest. Just moody. And so he was really angry. He was really angry that he didn't win, and that he wanted to be the patron of Athens. And so he said to her that if you want, they made an agreement that if she was to rule Athens, that she was to also punish all the women who voted her in, and she physically assaulted every single one of those women. They were punished for voting her in. But she was that kind of nature. She's ruthless. She's ruthless to maintain her power. So you are being called to maintain your power. You have to have your own back. You've got to have your own back. Obviously, you don't want to be like Athena and start bashing everybody up, but this is the card of being ruthless about what you want. Like you have to be like. The best way to describe this card is to have your own back. You've got to stand up for this. You've got to be in your own power. She speaks the truth. She is the judge. She is the jury, and she also brought diplomacy actually to Athens as well. It was a very ancient Greece and ancient Rome was incredibly brutal. Even though they were pagan societies, they weren't romantic at all. They were brutal and violent and vengeful, and she civilized Athens and brought in diplomacy. And so you are being called to be diplomatic, but you've got to have your own back. You've got to have your own back. So this is agreements being made, getting your emotions out of the way, black and white thinking, being reasonable about how you want to move forward, like reasonable as in what's going to work for you. Okay. Being a double Libran. Oh yes, balance is something that I value highly, but you're right, emotions unbalance those scales. I'm glad that was helpful, Carrie. Big lesson for you right now. That is your current lesson. Okay, so where do I learn these stories, Wendy? I study them. I study the myths of the cards. I'm part of a study group. I have countless books. I've got all my books here. Look, books, more books, more books. Tarot psychology, Jungian archetypes. I've got heaps of, that's just a few of my books. And then, you know, I read. I read and I study, and I'm very passionate about the tarot. Yes. Okay. Who's next? Who did I say I was going to read for? Kareen. You're next. I've lost a few people. Some people have dropped off. If you'd like to learn more, Wendy, I have a 6-month tarot mentoring program that starts next week. The link is in the comments section, and I will teach you everything I know about the myths of the tarot, also the meanings of the cards, also you'll receive therapeutic training, so you'll learn about Jungian psychology, tarot psychology, counselling 101, dream work. It's a great course. It goes for 6 months. It's pretty intense. We catch up every week. So if you want in, private message me. I'd love to help you, but the link is in the comments as well. Okay, Kareen. I think this is your card here. Oh, I was waiting for this card to come up. Kareen, you know, it's an interesting card. I feel like this has been hovering around you for quite some time, this card, the Death card. And sometimes people get scared when this card comes up. It's about transformation, actually, but through the giving up of what no longer serves you. In the story of Hades, he rules the underworld. He's Zeus's brother. So Poseidon is Zeus's brother as well. Poseidon rules the earth and the oceans. Hades rules the underworld. The underworld is your unconscious mind, and your inner reality. And Hades, the dark underlord, he also rules death and transformation. And so in this card, to be supported by Hades, one must give up something. It's one life for another. So if you want what you want, you cannot have what you've still got. You've got to let go. You've got to let go. It's probably the biggest lesson. I think this card's, with the energy of this card, Hades, it's one of the most difficult lessons. You know, often when people come to me for a reading, their biggest challenge is letting go. Is, you know, ending things and letting go. It's really hard. It is really hard. And so there's a lot of grief with this card. It's learning to deal with the emotions around that, and because it's quite heavy, the emotions that come with this card as well. But you can see there, look, there's a new beginning. It will come, but it only happens when we let go. But there's no time frame on this. We can't say with this card, oh, you know, let go and it'll all be sorted in 2 weeks. No, it doesn't really work like that. It has its own timing. Sometimes this card is like a gradual letting go. It's like when people, sometimes, you know, when people leave relationships, you know, sometimes it can take them a few years before they finally make the decision to walk away. And they go through this huge amount of grief and processing before they even get to that point of the letting go. That, you know, it's usually very well thought through and thought out. People generally don't leave relationships on a whim. It doesn't usually happen like that, you know. It's you usually go through a big process. So this is the card of having to make some big changes and having to let go. And it's a big lesson for you, learning how to trust in the letting go. And whenever we let go of something, yes, there is a loss, there is a cost. And I think that's what's scary with this card. But on the other side of that is light and a new beginning and new life and probably what you actually want. But you know, Hades is waiting for his offering. He's waiting. So when people enter Hades' realm, you have to cross the river Styx, which is here. So this is the conscious mind, this is the unconscious, and this is the river Styx. And you have to cross the river Styx, and there's a boatman there called Chiron, and you have to give him a coin. And you know, if you give him a coin, then he'll take you over to the other side. So it's an offering. You have to give an offering to receive from Hades, to get what you want from Hades. But it doesn't, you know, it doesn't happen without giving up, the giving up of something. So that's your lesson at the moment. Take what you will from that card. Take what you will. It is hard not to catastrophize the death card. I think with the death card, it's not a catastrophizing card. It's more of grief. There's a sadness with that card. People are scared of grief. They're scared of the pain and what it feels like. It's really, grief is an expression of love. It's an expression of love. How deeply you love. We grieve because we love. Okay, so Lisa, I'll read for you. Lisa Wilson. I haven't met you before. Hi. Hi, Pania. Good to see you. Doing something different tonight, Pania. I'm just reading the major cards. Okay, Lisa. This is your card. Lisa. There it is. Poking out at me. So the Devil card. Don't be scared. This is the card of God Pan, and he was he was a very wild god. He was quite revolting. He had no manners. He had no social etiquette. He would rape. He was pure instinct. He was unclean, unkempt, ugly. He was revolting. But he represents our shadow, or your shadow aspects, learning to go inwards and face these darker aspects of your being. We all have a shadow. We all have a shadow. Anything beautiful casts a shadow. We all have a shadow. You can't escape that. Freud referred to the shadow as being these repressed versions of yourself, or the repressed side. Sorry, Jung and Freud actually. That Jung referred to the shadow archetype as being these repressed aspects of your being, of your psyche, the parts of you that might be habituated, that, you know, conditioned responses that you don't realize are conditioned responses, that your reactive self, the part of you that reacts. It's also connected, this card is also connected with habitual patterns, you know, like addictions, like being, you know, struggling to control, you know, excessive behaviours. It could be around drinking, smoking, overeating, hypersexuality as well. So this card is deeply rooted in your sexual nature, for sure, as well, and the parts of you that that's being repressed. It's not all bad. The shadow isn't necessarily a bad aspect of your being. It's not bad at all. These are just aspects of ourselves that we are holding back on, or we're hiding because we feel embarrassed or ashamed. Sometimes this card reflects this wild nature, this part of you that you are not letting out, that you're not letting be free. You're not allowing yourself to be fully expressed. So this is the card. This card comes after the death card, actually. When you move into Hades' realm, you are then faced with your shadows. You're faced with your shadow aspects and looking at these darker aspects of your being. And you can see here that these little people here, I don't know if you can see that, these little people in this card, they're chained, they're like puppets, but actually their hands are free. They can undo the collar at any point. So they're not actually controlled by the shadow. They think they are, but they're not. They can undo the collar at any point. This is like the darkest recess of your unconscious mind, the darkest place, and we all have one. We all have this really deep, dark place within us. So this is the card about is about facing that and becoming whole, accepting these, doing some inner work, doing some therapeutic work. Okay, yes, it's such an interesting card, isn't it, Lisa? Okay, Wendy, I'll read a card for you. That's okay, Pania, you're late. Public holiday mess. School holidays mess me about. I always forget. I book in work and you want to be in my video. Oh, I don't know how to do that. Did you do that accidentally, Wendy? I don't know how to do that. I don't want to mess around with that just in case I mess things up. I'll have a practice. We'll do a practice run in the group if you do end up doing my course. Okay, so Wendy, your card. Oh, it's just staring straight at me. It's got to be that one. Oh, I love this card. This is my sun god. I love him. This is the god Apollo. I think of him like he's like the Archangel Michael of the tarot. He's an oracle as well. He's an oracle. He has wisdom about your future self. He is the vision that you have for your future life. He is your future self interacting with you regularly, whispering to you about what's next, about what you're being called to do. So he comes after the moon card, and Apollo was a warrior. He was a warrior god, and he was part of the Olympians, the 12 Olympians. And he, you can see he's got a lyre there, and that lyre, that musical instrument, people would come to him and they would sing their sorrows to him, and he would heal them through playing this lyre. But you had to sing to him. You had to sing your heart, your sorrows, your depression, your sadness. You would sing it out to him, and he would play his music, and he would heal you, and he would bring light into your life through music. But he also was a protector. He would protect you from negativity. So he's a protection card. He's also an oracle, a card of looking into bringing your future self into the present moment and taking action based on what your future self is calling from you. This is your yes card. This is about being optimistic about the future and moving forward. It's about forward motion, like action, taking action. And the card in this, the lesson in this card is optimism. Is focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want, and letting yourself be led by the light, be guided by the light. Let the light lead you. Let Apollo lead you. Trust in the visions that you have, that you're being gifted, that have been gifted to you by your future self. So this is your yes card for anything that you're contemplating. This is your yes. Do it. Go ahead, jump. Yes, this is the card of it's time to move forward now. This card often comes up when you have been through some difficult times, actually, some challenging times, and you're on the other side of it now. This is about being on the other side of it, being through that. You've met the devil. You've played with the devil. You've been there. You've been in Hades' realm, and you're moving out of that realm now into the light. So you've been called to, focus on your future and what you want, and let yourself be led. Let yourself be led by that. Okay, what's the time? Oh, look, I got carried away. I've gone over time. I have to go, everyone, and I'm coughing a bit, so I think I probably need to rest up because I've got a big week ahead of me. So if you want to participate in my tarot program, I will put the link in the comment here. Where is it? Whoops, what have I done? Oh, there it is. Okay. Copy. Here's the link. You'll learn all about these cards. They're beautiful cards, aren't they? The myths are amazing. I love them. So yes, if you would like to participate in my program, we start this week. Last one. It is the last one for 2020. I won't be running this course again this year. 6-month mentoring to become a professional tarot therapist. A tarot therapist, a practitioner, not a tarot, moving away from fortune telling into the therapeutic realm. I also have my readings. You've got 24 hours. You've got 24 hours to book in if you want a reading. They have been my reading special. I gave you a birthday special, $111. They're usually $150 for the hour. They're now $111 for the next 24 hours. The link is there. It'll go away tomorrow. It's going to disappear. So if you want to book in, do it now. The booking link's there. It will take you straight to my calendar. You can pick your appointment, and I'm busy for the next 2 weeks because it's school holidays. So, but I've got spots this weekend. This weekend coming. So if you want a reading this weekend, jump in and you'll get it. You can also, if you purchase it, you can keep it in your back pocket and wait for wait until you're ready. Till you're ready to book your session, book your time. You don't have to book it this week. You can book it, for the end of the year. I don't know, whenever you want to use it. Put it in your back pocket. Put it in the bank. It's a good opportunity. Take the opportunity. Okay, I'm sending you so much love. I'll summarise this week's reading, and yes, have an amazing week, and thanks for showing up. Sending love, everyone. Bye.